Hi there, this is Mr. Cardoso, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make forums for discussion, for student discussion. In the last video, we talked about what the news forum was, as just a tool for teachers to leave latest news and announcements, and students can't really reply here. So we want students to have a thoughtful discussion. We can create forums. The forums are a great tool for, especially those students who are shy in class and who may not discuss, but they may um, discuss here on the forum, especially if they're forced to. So if you associate a mark with it, for example. So that's a great thing. So let's go ahead and do that. So to start, we have to click on Turn Editing On. Okay, and you can see that we have these things in every block. Okay, add a resource and add an activity. Forums are actually under add an activity right here. Okay, so now we have to decide where we want to put our forum. The one thing to note is that you can have as many forums as you like. You can have 5 forums in this one unit or so on. Usually you have a forum associated with a unit or a topic. And then there are multiple questions inside of that forum. Sometimes you just put a general help forum up here at the top where students can just go online and ask for help, and you or the other students can actually answer their questions. So that's a general help forum. Let's go ahead and do a specific one on a specific topic. Okay, so let's say we want to create a forum to discuss the causes behind, say, World War I, even though I'm in a math class. Just don't pay attention to that. Okay, so we go, let's say we want to put that in this unit because this unit says, World War I or whatever. So we come down here and we add an activity and we click on forum. Okay, so a lot of times teachers make the mistake of putting the actual question on the forum name and the forum introduction. Remember, this is a general forum with related to one topic, but it can have multiple questions in that forum. So for example, you shouldn't do something like this. What are the causes of World War I? Okay, because this is, your general title for this topic, so for this forum. So maybe you might want to call this forum World War I. Okay, and then any question that you want them to discuss can be within this forum. Now the next important thing is the forum type. Again, if you click on this question mark, it gives you a really nice description of the 4 types of forums. The 2 most important ones are the Q&A, in my personal opinion, of course, and the standard forum for general use. Now the Q&A one is kind of cool because students have to first answer the question, the original question by the teacher, before they can see other students' posts. And once they do that, then they can read and respond to other people's ideas. The standard forum for general use is a sort of like a forum where students can ask questions at any time and they can always see other people's questions and discussion. Okay, so that's just an open forum. Okay, I want to show you an example. If I go to my computer science class, usually at the beginning of the course, when I take the students to the lab to create their Moodle accounts and so on and get into the class, I usually have an activity made up for them, and I usually use a forum. So here it is, getting the hang of Moodle, just so they have something to do and they see what it's for. Okay, so if I click on that, you see getting the hang of Moodle is the name of the forum. Okay, and then within that I have 2 questions, the water puzzle and what would you do. Okay, those are just the subject titles for those questions. Okay, you can also add more questions based on, getting the hang of Moodle. So if I click on, for example, the water puzzle, okay, you can see that as I'm not really enrolled in this class, I can read the original question here, and you can see that there. I cannot see the other responses yet because this is a Q&A forum. So if I want to see the other responses, right now I'm logged into this class as a student. I have to click reply. Okay, and oops, I didn't mean to click that. Click cancel. And I'll just put test here just to show you that I've replied and post a forum. Okay, and you can click continue or wait. It will automatically navigate back there. Now because I've replied, here's my reply here at the bottom, test. notice how I can see everybody else's response. Okay, so now at this point I can read them. If I want, I can even reply to their response. So this is where students can have, a good discussion on a particular topic. Okay, so again, if I click back here, it takes me back to the forum where I have multiple questions on this topic. Okay, so let's go back here, and let's say, if you just wanted, again, an open forum, you can choose this one, where students can always read and respond to other people's posts. Okay, in your forum introduction, you will say something like, this forum is related to World, or this forum has questions related to World War I. You're not putting the question in here yet, which is what some teachers think, right? Okay, so you're not adding the question yet. This is the forum, which can have multiple questions. Here is your option. If you want to force subscription or give optional subscription, okay? Those are the two most important ones. And what subscription is basically, if you leave it as optional subscription, students can choose whether or not they want to be subscribed to that. Subscription means that when a new post or something is posted in this forum, they will get an email to the email account they have created with Moodle. So if you leave it an optional subscription, students have the option, if they don't like getting millions of emails, to unsubscribe. If you put it to forced subscription, they don't have that option. They have to be subscribed, and they're going to get all the emails. So that's up to you. Is this forum going to yield many, many responses? If it is a question, like if this is a forum based on questions that you want everybody to answer, like they're required to answer it, then you don't want to force subscription. In fact, you might even want to disable subscription, because every time for all of your students that there's a post, everybody's going to get an email. So you want to disable it in that case. In the event where it's a general help forum, where once in a while a student might post a question, but not often or not all the time or not every day, then you might want to force subscription, because then otherwise you might not be checking this forum, and it's nice to get an email notification. Okay, I hope that answers your question on subscription there. Okay, so there's a description here on the optional and forced subscription. Okay, you can choose how many attachments, so students can actually post attachments, or you can disable it by clicking 0, and then they can't post attachments. The maximum attachment size, you can go up to 8 megabytes. So for each post, you can post an 8 megabyte file or multiple 8 megabyte files. Okay, and here you have ratings. Ratings is basically like grades. So if you want to grade students right on Moodle, you can do that. In fact, Moodle has a whole marking system with mark sets and categories and the works. It's got the whole mark program, so you can mark everything on here. We don't use it because we're using Markbook, and we have to use Markbook. So I usually leave this no rating. Doesn't mean you don't have to grade it. You just don't grade it on here. It means you grade it. You can read the posts and then transfer the mark into your Markbook. The reason why I don't grade it through here is because when students log in, they actually have this grade thing under their account, and they can click on grade and see their marks, and then it actually averages them and so on in the mark program within Moodle. So they think that's their mark. Meanwhile, it doesn't have all of the offline assignments that students are doing. So I usually don't grade anything within Moodle. I'll grade it offline or on a piece of paper or directly into Markbook, but not on here. Okay? And then when you're ready, you can go to Save and Display this time, just to take a look. So you've created the form at this point, but there's no actual question. Okay, so now you can add as many questions, 5, 10 questions, or so on. So for example, I'll add a new discussion topic, and here's where I can actually say, causes of World War I. I can say, what do you think are the causes of World War I? And I also say something like, this will be graded, check the rubric on the main page of Moodle. Of course, that's optional. So that they know when they go back to Moodle and they find the rubric, and they can see how you're going to grade it. Okay, and then you can post a forum. And again, click continue. It just says your post was successfully added and so on. Okay, and that's one question, so students can reply to that. Then the following day, you can, or the following week or so on, then you can come back here. If it's still related to World War I, add another question if you need to. Okay, so just to show you another example here, in my class, I'll go down to computer science, and in one unit in computer science, we try to integrate the literacy component. So in the computers and society part. So for example, in this unit, they read several articles, and I post links to the articles. And for each article, there's a question that they have to respond to. So if I click on the thing here, you can see that there are, well, right now there's only one question. I haven't added the other ones yet, so I apologize for that. I thought I did. Okay, so that's the idea behind forums. Okay, you can click on the form. Here you can see I have the form here. You can click on the form again at any time and go down to settings, and you can always change the subscription mode. Remember, based on the emails. If students are getting too many emails, give them optional subscription and tell them they can unsubscribe. Or you can disable subscription in the case where it's the thing that's they all have to reply to. You're making them reply. If it's you know, a one-time help form, you want them to be subscribed because you want them to see help questions from other students so that they can answer them or you can answer them. So then you would leave it unforced. Okay, you can add as many forms as you want, but usually you add one form to a general unit or topic. Okay, I think I have answered the questions on forms.